All right, welcome everybody from KLM and also to those from the Yiboneh channel who may be watching the recording. Anyway, good to have you all with us here. We're going to start in a minute, just a couple of very brief announcements. So we've been a lot going on the KLM side, Baruch Hashem. Rabbi Wegbreit been busy publishing a number of articles in the Jewish press. If everybody's interested in that KLM material, drop me a line, we'll send those to you. Also in early November, Rabbi Wegbreit is going to be giving a shiur to the South African Tehillim groups for the Yortzeit of Dr. Setzer's mother-in-law. So we'll, Bezrat Hashem, get a link for that. Anybody who wants to join in on those KLM shiurim. And yeah, just to say, obviously, always sponsorship opportunities. Anybody wants to sponsor one of the shiurim, please do let me know. All the donations help to push forward the work of KLM. And yeah, okay, we're going to make a start, just letting a couple people in. And if everybody could just keep on mute, and cameras on or off is okay, just as long as it doesn't interfere with the bandwidth. And Rabbi Wegbreit, if you want to turn on your camera, let's make a start.
Thank you, Peretz. Okay. Erev Tov, everybody. Well, not for the people in the States. This year is going to be about Bein Adam Lamakom. You know, we're going to hopefully strengthen the bond between us and Hashem. However, I want to start this year with Bein Adam Lechavero. I want us to do a mitzvah for a Jew whose needs our help. Okay, there's a father of someone who's very close to a lot of people in KLM London and South Africa as well. The Moshal's father really needs a refuah shlema, and I'm going to mention his name right now. And I'd like you to have let's just put some mitzvahs into this so we can help the best we can. Okay. And if you want to take the name down, we'll post the name for davening afterwards. Okay. But the name is Yochanan Hillel Ben Tova Zelda. Also, let's add Rav Ezrahi, Rav Mordechai, Baruch Mordechai, Ben Hinda Malka, B'Soshar Yisrael. So here's the mitzvah I want us to do, okay, is we're just going to say two words, but these two words can be profound mitzvahs, okay? We're going to just say refuah shlema, B'Soshar Yisrael, that sentence, right? But I want you to have in mind, while you express this, you're praying, right? You're praying to Hashem. So have in mind the mitzvah of anochi, belief and emunah in Hashem, okay? And have in mind the mitzvah of chesed and compassion, two mitzvahs of emulating Hashem, and feel some pain for the person who needs a refuah and their family and the loved ones, okay? And then I think that's good for now, okay? So we're going to start with some mitzvahs to help a Jew in distress, okay? So I'll say it, and everyone please say alongside or just quietly. Refuah Shlema, the Baruch Mordechai Ben Hinda Malka B'Soshar Chole Yisrael, the Yochanan Hillel Ben Tova Zelda B'Soshar Chole Yisrael. Okay, that's a good way to start shiur, is with compassion for Jews in need. So that's start number one. Now I say we're going to Hashem and connecting to Hashem. All righty. Let me open with this. This is happening to me lately. Sometimes when the computer, I don't know what causes it, and it's not very relevant for right now, but you try to get into the computer and it says, are you a robot? Or, demonstrate that you are not a robot, right? So what do? I check, I am not a robot, okay? And this is something that we're trying very hard at KLM. We don't want to be robots when it comes to Hashem, right? So you are not, I am not a robot, you are not a robot, okay? I have something else to add. I am not a cow. And guess what? You are not a cow. Allow me to explain, okay? I better explain, right? Why aren't we cows? Because we are programmed with a drive to succeed and a drive to connect, a drive to succeed. Let's focus on that. We are programmed like that. A cow has no drive to succeed. He eats his food and he calms down. He gets his parnasa and he's calm, right? We get our parnasa, we eat and we're not calm, and we're always seeking success, okay? We are programmed that way. We are not cows, okay? So what's the ramification of this? So we see most healthy people are seeking success, right? This is Rabbi, what I'm saying is really based on Rabbi Victor Miller. He stresses this point a lot. We're seekers, and particularly seekers of a success. However, unfortunately, most of the world is seeking success monetarily, financially. I mean, God bless everybody. You can have success and you can have money, but they're seeking that which, here's the famous saying, you can't take it when you go, right? You can't take it with you when you go, and they're seeking, but they're not going to be able to take it when they go. So KLM member Craig Cowan nailed it on the head. He says, with Torah and mitzvahs, and especially with kavanah, you can take it when you go. You hear? We should always be seeking success that we can take with us when we go. Ad mea esrim, right? Everybody should live to 120. But it's unbelievable. And most of what we do with Torah and Hesed and these things, guess what? These are things where you get the success and the fruits right now, but you can take it with you when you go. All right? So that's our focus right now, okay? And I have a tool for you, okay? Last time we spoke about Baruch Hashem, two words, Baruch Hashem, okay? Well, what I always try to do, we already did it. Every year I try that we immediately start fulfilling mitzvahs, right? We're not waiting for later, right? Again, so have in mind the mitzvah of learning Torah, because that's what we're also doing. And we're learning Torah in order to live the Torah, okay? Have those in mind, okay? We've just accomplished. Now, the thing is this, like what we did last time is we said, Baruch Hashem. And we actually had Kavanah Shleim, a complete Kavanah for it. And we even then did the Joey Newcomb and Michael Storch song, and we deepened our Kavanah. But now the beautiful thing is, those mitzvahs that we did then, and the mitzvahs we're doing in this second, can never be taken away from us. They're there forever. They're eternalized. But how about this? But what we really want is after you watch the KLM shir, that you can take it with you in your week and your month, right? The more you can live this, it's unbelievable. You'll have so much to take with you, all right? And you'll have so many fruits of connection to Hashem in this world. So I have a tool to make sure that we take what we did last week with us when the shir is over, all right? So let me share a screen, and it's for the Berkas Torah alumni, new technology, all right? One day I'll explain that to the others. Let me just share a screen. Okay, where did it go? All righty, just give me 1 second. Get ready for a new tool. Okay. Now I just did, okay, now I just hit share screen. Okay. Howie Parrots?
Yeah, that's firing up.
Okay, and I'll put it on present. As we said, the two words Baruch Hashem are worth millions, okay? And I want to present you, and this is a model that we can use for many, many of our mitzvahs that we're working on. It's called PATH, okay? It's an acronym. It's the path to millions, okay? So here, I'm going to give you, this is the general tool. I'm going to explain it briefly, and then we're going to apply this path to Baruch Hashem, all right, to thanking Hashem, okay? So P stands for priming yourself, okay? Now the thing is this is we move in a kind of current of consciousness, and it's often hard to stop the patterns. You know, patterns can be helpful, and patterns can turn us into robots. We ought to say, sorry, I can't go for it. I am a robot, right? So the first step in not saying I am a robot is by priming yourself. Now, by the way, I didn't ask Dr. Cesar, but I've heard the sports psychology, you know, they hire extremely well-paid psychologists, right? By the way, the best psychologists, I don't want to put down any people who are noble and help people with their troubles, but Rabbi Moore puts it, the best psychologists are in advertising and in sports, okay? But what do they learn and what do they know is that you have to prime yourself as you enter into the experience, prepare, prime, right? And one of the things they do visualization, but what it's called is rehearsal. They rehearse the experience before it takes place, okay? Now we are gonna, as we continue this year in KLM, we're gonna work on all sorts of strategies to prime ourselves. But with Baruch Hashem, I have a suggestion, okay? But you hear, the first thing is you have to prepare, you have to rehearse ahead of time. We're talking in seconds. This does not take a lot of time, but you need a little seconds before. That's why we step back in the Shemona Esrei. You have like these 3 steps forward where you're priming yourself to meet a Kadosh Baruch Hu, the King. Prime, P for prime. A, once you've primed yourself, now add the mitzvah kavana. This is coming alive, being less of a robot. Absolutely. When you just say, what mitzvah am I doing now? And then you're doing it like washing your hands as Hashem's command. I'm doing the mitzvah of washing my hands for eating, right? That is worlds of difference, right? So prime yourself, add the mitzvah kavana, and then the feelings, right? The whole thing is we're moving in parallel tracks here because we got to get our mind in the right place. And again, there's no way to calculate the difference if you take that one breath, that 1 second to have in mind the mitzvah before you do it. It's phenomenal. But what about during the mitzvah, right? What does Hashem want more than anything from us? Our heart. Rahmana liba boy, the merciful one above wants our heart, right? So the next step is we insert the feelings that accompany the mitzvah we're doing. And then last and definitely not least, H, happy hour. I don't know if that works in London and South Africa. It probably does because American culture has reached the entire world. Happy hour, you have to celebrate, okay? If you don't stop and celebrate, you don't appreciate what you're doing, and you're not encouraged to keep treading the path to millions, okay? And as I put here, celebrate to integrate. When you stop and say, oh, wow, I can't believe that. In a few seconds this happened, it's a game changer, okay? So now we're gonna apply this to Baruch Hashem, okay? Path applied to Baruch Hashem. Prime, okay? The first thing is priming, right? So we need to rehearse saying it with kavana. Okay, we're going to do this in 1 second. Get ready. I'm going to ask you how you are, and we're going to say Baruch Hashem again. Okay, but the first thing is you rehearse it. So how about this? Let's do this. Okay, and I may remind you, but right now, remember here. Let me run it through, and then we'll practice that. Okay, prime. Rehearse saying it with kavana. A for add the kavana, meaning have in mind the mitzvah to thank Hashem. T, then the feeling. We want to feel genuine gratitude when we say it, right? We don't want to just tick the box of having kavanah, which is fantastic. We want to feel it. If the mitzvah is thanking Hashem, we want to feel it. And then happy hour. I just came up with one sentence. There's so many. In a few seconds, I created so much bliss for myself. There's many ways to celebrate. We'll be celebrating, please God, all year. And hopefully you'll be doing this during the week, okay? So we're going to do this, but first I want to remind us here about the mitzvah to thank Hashem that we discussed last week. It's good to know where this comes from because we mentioned not everyone realizes that thanking Hashem is a Torah commandment. According to Rabbeinu Yonah and the Sefer Haredim, Taryag mitzvahs. Okay, here we go. All righty. Here's the pasuk. It's in Devarim 8:2. V'zacharta es kol haderech asher ulichacha Adonai Elohecha zeh arba'im shana. Okay, right. Okay, you shall remember the entire path that Hashem led you on these past 40 years. We said that is referring to the beautiful things Hashem did for us in the midbar, right? The man falling from the sky, our clothes not wearing out, divine protection, everything beautiful, right? So when you think about that, look at those camels over there. If you think about that right now, think about it right now, that is, you just fulfilled the commandment, Torah commandment. But as Rabbeinu Yonah, the Sefer explains, all the more so, all the kindnesses that you're experiencing now. There's the picture at the Kotel, right? When you think, I can't believe we're at we have the Kotel. I can't believe it, right? So that is another Torah commandment. So that just a reminder of the mitzvah to have in mind. Okay, so let's go back and then we discuss genuine gratitude. Okay. So let's now, let's just do this. We're going to say Baruch Hashem, okay? So prime yourself right now you're going to say Baruch Hashem, and maybe even right now think about what you're going to focus on, right? To have that gratitude, right? All right, so just take a second to prepare. Okay. And now add the kavana, meaning have in mind we're about to say Baruch Hashem, and you have in mind the mitzvah of thanking Hashem, the Torah commandment. Okay, you did that? Great. 3, the feeling. All right. Now, since you have something you're hopefully focused on about to feel, to appreciate his kindnesses, so get ready when you say this, you want to feel real gratitude, okay? Genuine gratitude. And then we'll celebrate, okay? All right, so I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to ask you, how are things? Or how is everything, okay? 1, 2, 3. How is everything? Baruch Hashem. Okay, and now we want this experience to be memorable. So it's now time for happy hour, right? Just say to yourself, those few seconds, they felt good, but they'll feel good forever. And I just got closer to the one who made me and loves me to no ends. Okay, there we go. That's the that we just achieved that, okay? And I want to now bring up like the week, okay? So you have Baruch Hashem. But I want to bring up one more thing in our final minutes, okay? I wanted to discuss, since we're on the mitzvah of gratitude, I want to discuss where the Yetzer Hara ruins our after brachas, okay? And what to do about it, okay? In order to explain this, I need to bring the famous rabbi who at his Shabbos table, the gabbai or the rabbi will often remind you, in shul, don't forget, it's Rosh Chodesh, or Yali V'Avo, etc., right? So this rabbi, he has a big Shabbos table, and they're about to bench, right? So he goes, by the way, everybody, I just want you to remember when you're benching, don't forget to thank Hashem. Yeah. And why is that funny? Because you can actually bench and forget to thank Hashem. You hear? It's scary, but it's true. Okay. And let me ask you this. When's the last time you said Asher Yatzar and felt gratitude for having just used the bathroom? Right? And guess what? We're talking about what's so striking. You could be saying the Asher Yatzar or the benching, and you're focused on the words, you're feeling the words and this and that, but you just left out one thing, thanking Hashem. You hear this? So what a Yetzer Hara. We have to admire him. He is so incredible. I mean, let's look at it from his perspective, okay? Let's say you're religious and you're trying to work on getting close to Hashem, and you need to have kavanas alev, you need to be focused on the words and all those things and be in it, right? You just heard a class like this, right? So what are you doing, right? You're Baruch atah Hashem asher yatzar es ha'adam b'chachma, and you're envisioning this thing, right? So what does Israel say? He says, look, I'll get them so focused on reciting the blessing that they'll forget that this blessing was enacted as a means of expressing gratitude for what they just experienced. Brilliant. You hear? He just makes a disconnect. You can have kavanah in the bracha, but not gratitude for Hashem. It's brilliant on his part. And with deference, we're going to try to fight back. Okay. Shem, we cannot succeed against the Yetzer Hara. Please help us, okay? Here's the suggestion, okay? Does everybody, I hope everybody saw the instructions. Do you have a glass of water or a cucumber or a chocolate bar or something that you can make a bracha, very good. Something you can make a bracha achron on, okay? I hope you have, okay? Or as I'm talking, if you want to run, get something, okay? But first, let me tell you, let's focus on the bathroom for a second, forgive me, okay? But let me explain the strategy I'm going to put forth, okay? And then we're going to practice it on some food or drink, okay? Let's talk about the bathroom, forgive me, okay? So I said you can say Asher Yatzar with kavanah and forget that, my bodily system worked, I got rid of things that would be harmful if they stayed in, and it wasn't a painful experience. And right. So the thing is this. So I was learning with another KLM member, Daniel Lyons. And what I was thinking, how are we going to tackle this, is that when you get out of the restroom, on your way to wash your hands, have in mind that think about the fact that experience was healthy and pleasant or whatever, right? Just have gratitude and then say the blessing, right? But he had such a good insight. You see this person fights his Yetzer Hara. He says, what's going to happen. After you use the restroom, you're going to be thinking, I got to recite Asher Yatzar quickly. And of course, I got a lot to do right after that. So to get in the zone after the experience, and that's why the rabbi's joke is true. You hear? Okay, it's time to bench. You just move into this other zone, right? So he said, and I thought it was a brilliant suggestion. He had two points, okay? How about, forgive me, but how about during the experience of the restroom, just think about how lucky you are that everything is okay and that you're able to eliminate and, whatever. But here's the thing, don't 3 seconds maximum. You hear? All you need is 1 second of gratitude, and that's something, but maximum 3 seconds. So all you need to do is, right? So the thing is this, I've been working on this, try to practice what I preach. So the thing is, I'm working on this. So what happens when you do that is then when you get out of the restroom, you're in the state, you remember that you're supposed to appreciate and have gratitude for what you just happened. And the beautiful thing about my Asher Yatzar is I have now like 12 different insights into why I should be grateful that that everything worked out okay and I'm okay and I'm healthy. It just keeps piling up because I have put now an instruction. Feel gratitude before making the blessing during the experience. Okay, now we're going to do this with your drink or your whatever it is. Okay, so everybody, what I want you to do first is I want you to make a blessing, a pre-bracha. Do it with kavana, okay? But the point, just make your blessing, make a nice blessing, and just take a sip or a nibble, okay? So do that first. I'll just give you a minute to do that. Okay, I assume that you've made your pre-blessing because we want to focus on the disconnect when you make the braid and the fashos, okay? So before, I don't want you finishing or drinking right now. Okay, if you did, you did. But while you drink or eat, connect to the pleasure. There's mitzvahs in that, but I don't have time right now. We're focusing, okay, on the after blessing, right? So what I want you to do now is drink it down or eat it so that you're obligated a blessing, a bracha achrona, but have 3 seconds of connection and appreciation to the experience while you're having it. Okay, so do that right now. Okay, I hope you're now obligated in an after blessing. Okay, good. So, ready? Now, let's go down the path to millions. Okay, P, prime yourself, right? Rehearse reciting, right now, rehearse reciting a nefashos with appreciation of the experience. Just rehearse it in your mind right now. Okay. Add right now the mitzvah of, I have in mind the mitzvah of making a bracha achrona, okay, on what I consumed, and the mitzvah of thanking Hashem for his kindness. Okay, so that's PA. We primed ourselves, we added the mitzvah kavana, and now we go to T, then the feelings. Okay, so get ready to move yourself into a beautifully healthy state of gratitude to Hashem. Those are the feelings you want to say while you're reciting this blessing. You can feel love too and have in mind the mitzvah of Avos Hashem. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, okay, prime, add the kavanas we did, and then the feelings, go. Okay, here we go. Happy hour. Now grab a beer or a glass of wine. No, right now, just say, it could be a never ending. Thank God. Baruch Hashem, do you know what I just did? Spiritual achievement is not measured quantitatively. Those few seconds or minutes that we just spent now, you won't believe what it's going to do. Okay, that's an example of happy hour. Okay, so I'm closing right now by saying the following. I encourage you to use the Path to Millions tool. Okay, all right, because then you'll be able to take more life with you. Admei stream when you go, and you'll feel, and have in mind one more mitzvah, the mitzvah of choosing life. You're b'char to b'chaim when you use this tool. All right. So use it. Be healthy. Admei stream. Zeu.
Thank you, Rabbi Wegbreit.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. I thought of a new way. Thank you. I thought of a new expression because I always tell people I don't want you to treat the class like a TV show, right? You know, so you watch it, it's entertaining, and you don't. It doesn't affect you. So, heard a good one. If anyone heard that, I think it was Bertrand Russell, right? So I don't know if he was a famous British mathematician. Forgive me, Brits, for what I'm going to describe. But either I think either he wrote a book of ethics, or he was speaking about, let's say, Aristotle. Somebody wrote a book of ethics, and they did not lead a ethical life. Okay, a treatise on ethics, but they didn't live it, right? So they confronted whoever it was. I just know he said the quote. They confronted him. And they said, you know, you wrote a book of ethics. And he said, if I wrote a book of geometry, would you expect me to be a triangle? So you hear this? So what I want to say is, you want to be a triangle, okay? Don't live like that, right? We want to be triangles, all right? We want to live this, okay? So I encourage you, please use it. Maybe, you know, just share it. We can celebrate. We'll have a happy hour, okay? But use it a lot this week. Try your best. By the way, two more things. Again, I want to thank the listeners from Yibbeneh who are joining the Yibbeneh Har Nof branch, okay, in the KLM headquarters. And I want to thank them. And I also just want to point out that I posted a PDF of this shir, and the slides are in reverse, and I improved one of the slides. So right now I'm going to post this new version. If you print out the other, whatever, but I recommend this version that I'm going to print. Okay. Thank you, Paris. Everybody.
Can I share
Paul,
something?
Please. Sure.
Quickly.
Oh,
About 5
please.
years ago, I found myself in a doctor's office, leaning over a chair and moaning. And the doctor's receptionist said, well, you know, can you please quiet down because other patients are here. And I couldn't. I said I couldn't. And I was falling over the chair, and the moaning was so intense from pain that she took me in the back room. And they did a quick CAT scan, and they found an intestinal blockage that was preventing my intestines from working correctly. And I'm tempted to do the moan so that you can understand the pain that I felt. You know, it was something like, and the person who did the CAT scan, when he told me the results, his face was ashen, and he said, you better talk to your doctor. And they rushed me to the hospital, and they didn't know what to do in the emergency room. They put a tube through my nose and drained my abdomen through my nose. And they did emergency laparoscopic surgery, and luckily found out that the minute they made an incision, the blockage was removed. But what I'm saying is, you know, it's a miracle every moment that our intestines work correctly. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you have a blockage, you know, I mean, when it says right? I could not stand before you even for an hour, right? If my system didn't work, it's real. And I had that, you know, it was pain that was overwhelming, debilitating, and extremely dangerous. So, you know, the healthy functioning of our system is not just necessary, but it's a daily bracha, and not to be in pain is something not to be taken for granted.
Oh, beautiful. Please, parents, we should include this in the video. That's powerful.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Thank you so much. That's something to draw upon. Beautiful. Okay, very good. Yes, Shakar, everybody. Yes. Sorry,
Rabbi,
Wendy?
I just wanted to share, shalom, everyone. since you've already slowed us down now before we say a shahakol or we're eating something, the missing spark is the kavana of releasing the spark in whatever food we're eating.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
Then you get.
Yes, beautiful. Much more to take with you. That's fantastic. Very good. Very beautiful point. Excellent. Okay, very good. We advertised 20 minutes, so we better get off now. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ferris.
Well,
okay,
it's over,
Schwix.
everybody.
Thank you so much,
everyone.
all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Shama shir shir